Well, hey, thanks, Brian. I really appreciate you coming out here. I'm actually really excited to hear about what your company does as far as the virtual staging industry. So let's just jump right into it. So tell me a little bit more about your company and really how you got all started.
I started 24 years ago as a wedding and portrait photographer. Started down in Virginia Beach, and about 10 years ago we started specializing in architecture and real estate, and have moved away really from the wedding and portrait, and now 95% of our work is all architectural and real estate photography.
Yeah, that's great. So actually, let's dive a little bit more into the business itself. I'm curious, who is your typical client? Who are you catering to?
Most of our work is for realtors, I'd say, and for sale by owners. 70-80% is real estate specific realtors, brokers. Another 20%, 15-20% real estate investors, and then we also have a small percentage of designers that we work with as well.
Yeah. So how many homes are you typically serving in any given month?
Typically, during our busy season, 30 to 70 listings a month.
Mm-hmm. And what's the busiest time of the year for you?
Spring and summer markets are always huge. The fall market is also very busy. And interestingly, we used to, from Thanksgiving to February, March, typically stuff wasn't listing, properties weren't selling. But the past 2-3 years with this amazing real estate market, we haven't had an off season. Just as an example, last year, the week of Christmas, we did 15 listings. The week of Christmas.
Wow.
Never do you shoot in the off season that many properties. This year, I think we did 7 or 8 the week of Christmas, a total of 15 in December.
Yeah.
So this market is just great.
Yeah, that's excellent. So tell me a little bit more about the process, right? From the client first reaching out to you all the way until you're taking the photos off the MLS. Tell me a little bit more about that.
I have a client portal on my website where realtors, designers, investors, they can click right on it and sign them, set up an account with us, and then they can order everything directly through the website, or they can call us and schedule. And then we have a professional draftsman, a certified draftsman, a videographer, licensed drone pilot. I'm the main photographer. I do all the photography. During the busy season, I do have assistants that will help out. But then we get all that scheduled, shoot it for the client, depending on what their needs. Obviously, a builder, a real estate investor has different needs than a real estate agent as far as the video or the photography, and different needs for designers, versus realtors or investors. So we shoot specifically what the client needs, what their end goals are, and then we send it out. All of our images are professionally edited. We have a photo editor that does all our editing, our video edits for us. Typically, we promise 48 hours delivery, but
Wow.
90% of our work is 24 hours or less. So if I send it out, if I shoot it a listing this afternoon, send it out this evening, I have it in my office tomorrow morning, deliver it to the agent. They load it on the MLS, or we can load it for them. We have some agents that really are more hands off and want us to do all that. So we'll take care of that for them, and then once it sells, we move on to the next project.
Yeah, absolutely. So as I'm sure in this business, everyone is really cost savvy. So tell me a little bit more about the cost of virtual staging, and why do realtors and investors need to know who you are?
Typically, just a standard 3 to 6 9 room virtual staging will run you $300 to $700. Typical staging can be $2,000 to $3,000, and there's really, if it sits for 6 months, then your costs increase every month. With the virtual staging, you just have that one upfront cost, and you can budget for it because it's going to be X amount of dollars.
Yeah.
And The virtual staging, one of I think the biggest benefits is it allows a potential client, buyer, customer to start having the emotional attachment to the property. And we all know that sales, big high dollar sales, particularly real estate, it starts with an emotional investment. Once the client, the buyer is emotionally invested, then half the work is done. So the virtual staging shows a lot better than just an empty box. It shows the property in its best light. The buyer can really start to picture their lifestyle, if that home meets their lifestyle. And then once they arrive at the property, obviously there's no furniture there, so they're not distracted. They can start picturing their furniture in the space. Or if they're going to hire a designer, they can start picturing what the design's going to look like in that space, the empty space versus what it looks like best online staged.
Yeah, actually, you actually hit on a point on my next question. Which is when a buyer is actually looking at the pictures on the MLS, and they see it's beautifully staged, whether virtual or real, and then they actually go to the property and see that it's an empty shell. Do you feel as though that would take value away from that property?
I don't believe so. And a lot of the realtors that I work with, we deliver both copies. The virtual staged versus the empty room, and typically they'll post both online so that people, potential buyers, when they arrive at the property, they're not blindsided. Where'd the furniture go? And what I have a particular realtor that will have us print 16 by 20 images and put them on an easel in the rooms that were virtually staged, so that once they've seen them online, they arrive at the property, they can picture their furniture, but if they want a refresher of what it looked like online, they have that 16 by 20 print in a mat in the room itself. And I think it's a great presentation. You really get the best of both worlds. You can see it staged, and you can also picture your furniture or your design in that particular space.
Yeah, and actually I've seen that a couple of realtors have done that, especially with newer homes. They'll have like the renderings of the neighborhood and what the property could look like with the furniture. So that's great. So then what's the direction that virtual staging is taking, and what issues do you see arising because of it, if any?
I mean, our virtual staging has grown exponentially over the past 2.5 years. We were one of the first ones to offer it in this area, and the more people that learn about it, the more realtors, investors that learn about it, we keep getting repeat clients from it. One of the biggest obstacles, I would say, and this is just recently, I read an article about misrepresentation. If a client arrives at the property, they're expecting a fully staged property and it's an empty house.
Right.
Typically, I don't really believe that's a valid concern, because the furniture generally doesn't convey with real estate anyways. You're showing the house in its best light. If it was traditional staging, that furniture isn't going to convey with the sale of the house.
Yeah.
And we're very careful when we stage. We don't change, virtually stage, we don't change any physical elements of the property. It's all furniture. The paint color's the same. We're not changing the carpet. Now, we do offer that for investors if they want to see maybe what the walls look like without wallpaper, a different paint color on the wall, open up one of the walls, add a door. We can do all that. Obviously, that's a little more expensive because it's a little more involvement of time, but it's all a remodel of a kitchen. If they wanted to show a client what the remodel would look like, all that's possible.
Yeah, that's excellent. Well, this was all great, Bryant. How can someone find you?
The easiest way is our website, www.novarealestatephoto.com.
Yeah.
You can go there, and it's set up to be very easy to use. Like I mentioned earlier, the client portal. Realtors or investors it takes maybe 2 minutes to set a profile up, and then you can order all your packages. You can send us a question on there. You can order the video, all our marketing products. Everything is on there.
Yeah.
And then if they have a question, they can always reach me. We have an office in Virginia Beach and an office up here. 90% of my work is up here, so we're up here 90% of the time.
Yeah,
So, and
excellent.
then call direct or through our website.
Yeah, that's great. And actually, I want to go ahead and run through your website now. That way I can kind of start showing people what you have to offer. So as you can see here, we have the Northern Virginia Real Estate Photography website. So kind of run through us, some of the important things that you want us to take a look at. So just go ahead and
All right, the menu bar at the top, if you click on the pricing and information, obviously there's a drop-down menu where you can click on each of the different photography packages we offer. But that page has all the packages so that you can, the agents can decide which package best suits their needs. And they can click on more information per package, or the drop-down menu at the top, they can pull up more information. I just wanted to highlight that we do have a satisfaction guarantee,
Yep.
which we pride ourselves on customer service as well as being a top-notch photography and video media company.
Yeah, that's excellent. I've never heard of anyone offering such guarantee.
If the realtor, investor, designer isn't happy with the images, just send them back to us, and we refund their money completely.
Perfect.
Our job isn't done until they're 100% satisfied. And I know a lot of people say that, but that's one of our core beliefs. That's we really make that happen for everyone.
Yeah, excellent.
We also, our portfolio, we have at the top a couple recent shoots that we've done all this past year. And then below that, we also integrated our Instagram feed in there, which is our most up-to-date portfolio. You can see recent shots we've done. There's the Best of Hows. We won that for customer service in 2017. They awarded in 2018. So we're very proud of that because, like I said, we do pride ourselves on customer service. And the Instagram feed is all, like I said, our most recent shots. You can see a lot of the virtual staging examples.
Yeah.
And they're all tagged virtual staging. Because a lot of times, if it's done correctly, it's hard to tell what's been staged or what's not. My photo editor does a really good job of putting in the little details as far as like shadows or reflections in mirrors. With virtual staging, it's really the details that sell it.
Yeah, and honestly, in some of these shots, the only way I would know it's not actual staging is because of all the little details in the furniture. For example, this bathroom, I mean, they went as far as to put all the soaps, a plant. I don't think a regular stager would do that, realistically. But I mean, the pictures look absolutely fantastic.
And then our client portal, like I mentioned earlier, that's where you can sign up, or some people prefer to call direct. We'll also sign you up, get you all set up on the phone. But the easiest way to get you scheduled and directly on our shoot calendar is through the client portal, and it's very easy to use, pretty self-explanatory.
Because this is great. This is definitely something that our clients need to look into as a cost alternative to traditional staging. This is great. Well, anyways, hey Brian, it was a pleasure. I appreciate you coming out. If you're interested in virtual staging, definitely go check out the website. Thanks for joining us.